Sack Pep Guardiola now before it will be too late. Managers have mastered his playing pattern. Manchester City needs a new coach. Enzo Fernandez has finally reached a breaking point, and according to shocking reports coming out of Europe, the Chelsea midfielder has made up his mind to leave after Paris Saint-Germain's final decision. What once looked like a long-term project built around him is now turning into another dramatic football saga, full of frustration, regret, anger, and uncertainty. At the same time, Manchester City is also caught in its own storm. Pep Guardiola, once untouchable, is now under heavy fire from unexpected voices. One of the loudest and most shocking comes from Bayern Munich manager Vincent Kompany, a man who knows Guardiola better than most. Kompany has reportedly told the City owner in clear terms that Pep should be sacked before it becomes too late. According to him, managers across Europe have now mastered Guardiola's playing pattern, and Manchester City desperately needs a new coach to survive the future. Those words alone were enough to send shockwaves across the football world. As if that was not enough drama, City's transfer business has added another layer to the story. Pep Guardiola and the Manchester City hierarchy remain hugely impressed with young academy defender Max Allen, even as they push hard to sign Crystal Palace star Marc Guéhi. On the surface, it looks like smart planning. Dig deeper, and it raises big questions about trust, future plans, and whether Guardiola still believes in youth when pressure starts to rise. Manchester City have now struck a deal to bring Marc Guéhi to the Etihad Stadium for £20 million, with the move expected to be completed next week. The England international is set to sign a 5.5-year contract as he enters the final 6 months of his Crystal Palace deal. Palace will also receive a sell-on clause, making it a deal that suits both sides on paper. City have beaten off serious competition from Liverpool and Arsenal to land the defender, making him their second major January signing after Antoine Semenyo arrived from Bournemouth last week. What makes this deal even more interesting is that Guéhi was not originally desperate to join City. In fact, reports suggested he wanted to see out his Palace contract until the summer so he could leave as a free agent and collect a massive signing-on bonus at his next club. There was also strong belief that he preferred Liverpool or Arsenal over Manchester City. Last summer, he came painfully close to joining Liverpool in a £25 million move that eventually collapsed. Everything changed when injuries hit City's defense. During a tense 1-1 draw with Chelsea earlier this month, both Ruben Dias and Josko Guardiola picked up injuries. That single match forced City into panic mode. Suddenly, depth became a serious issue, and Guardiola needed reinforcements fast. Club officials moved quickly, opening fresh talks with Crystal Palace and doing everything possible to convince Guéhi that the Etihad was the right place for him. Behind the scenes, Etihad executives are said to be delighted. They believe they have pulled off a masterstroke, signing a defender they value at around £80 million in today's inflated market for just £20 million. On paper, it looks like classic Manchester City business, calm, calculated, and ruthless, but not everyone is convinced. The arrival of Guéhi has raised serious questions about the future of other defenders. John Stones and Nathan Ake are both widely expected to leave at the end of the season. Age, injuries, and the need for fresh energy all play a part, but perhaps the biggest question mark hangs over Max Allen, the young academy star who has quietly been making his case. Allen was recalled from his loan spell at Watford after Dias and Guardiola were injured. Thrown into the deep end, he did not just survive, he impressed. In the last 2 weeks alone, he has started and shone in matches against Brighton, Exeter City, and Newcastle. Calm on the ball, strong in tackles, and brave in positioning, he looked like a player who belonged at the top level. Transfer expert Fabrizio Romano has confirmed that Pep Guardiola is very happy with Allen. Inside the club, he is considered an outstanding talent, and staff at the Etihad are delighted with how quickly he has adapted. There is a strong belief that Allen will become a permanent first-team player next season as City continue to evolve under sporting director Hugo Viana. Viana has already overseen a major squad rebuild last summer, and this January he has delivered both Semenyo and Guéhi for a combined fee of £84 million. On paper, it looks like smart planning, but critics are asking a deeper question: if Allen is so good, why rush into another big defensive signing? Is Guardiola truly trusting youth, or is fear driving his decisions? That fear is not coming from nowhere. Guardiola is under more pressure now than at any other point in his City career. The team no longer dominates the league the way it once did. Opponents have learned how to press City, how to block passing lanes, and how to exploit space behind the high line. Vincent Kompany's comments did not come from ignorance, they came from experience. Kompany knows Guardiola's methods inside out. he played under him, learned from him, and built his own coaching ideas from that foundation. When he says managers have mastered Pep's playing pattern, it hurts because it sounds believable. The Premier League is brutal. Once a formula is cracked, it spreads quickly. That is why some fans believe City is slowly losing its edge. They point to predictable build-up play, over-reliance on control without penetration, and a lack of flexibility when Plan A fails. In big games, City no longer look invincible, they look human. This brings the conversation back to Enzo Fernandez and his own frustration. While he is not directly linked to City in this story, his situation reflects a wider theme in modern football. Players want clarity, ambition, and belief. When they sense confusion or stagnation, they start looking for exits. Enzo's decision to leave after PSG's final call is reportedly based on feeling undervalued and trapped in a system that no longer suits him. He wants to compete at the highest level, win trophies, and feel important. Instead, he feels stuck in endless rebuilds and broken promises. That same feeling is now creeping into Manchester City. For years, players went there knowing they would win. Now, uncertainty is growing. Will Guardiola stay? Will the system change? Will younger players like Allen truly get chances, or will experience always win when pressure rises? Even the fans are divided. Some still believe Guardiola is the only man capable of leading City forward, others think the cycle is complete and that a fresh voice is needed. Kompany's name excites many, Maresca's name intrigues others, but replacing Pep Guardiola is not just about tactics, it is about identity. Guardiola changed Manchester City forever. He turned them into a global powerhouse, a team respected and feared. But football does not stand still. What worked yesterday may not work tomorrow. Loyalty can be powerful, but it can also blind clubs to necessary change. The Mark Guehi signing shows City is still aggressive in the market. The Max Allen story shows there is talent coming through. The Vincent Kompany warning shows that even insiders believe danger is approaching. And the Enzo Fernandez saga reminds everyone that modern footballers will walk away if they feel their future is at risk. All these stories are connected by one thing: change is coming. Whether it comes now or later is the only question. For Manchester City, the next few months could define the next decade. Stick with Guardiola and risk falling behind rivals who have already adapted, or make a bold decision and start a new era before decline becomes permanent. There is no easy answer. Right now, Manchester City stands at a crossroads. Enzo Fernandez stands at a crossroads. Even Pep Guardiola, the master planner, looks like a man standing at a crossroads. Football never waits. Decisions will be made, consequences will